a deep-rooted gun culture in the United States. I actually grew up in northern Michigan, and we got the November 15th off every year of school. Why? Because it's the first day of hunting season. And so that is part of the culture up there. I know my family didn't have guns when I was growing up, but I know lots of people who had guns, but also who did things like part of that culture, right, was things like hunter safety and being careful and, being trained to shoot properly, not taking loaded guns places, et cetera. Some of the kind of dumb things that we see people doing with accidental gun incidents in the United States. But that culture can be appropriated to cover for this culture. And then you get this kind of slippery slope argument like, oh, if they say that we can't have AR-15s, if we can't have all of the ammo that we could possibly want, because every time these shootings happen, the ammo sales go up, right? The gun sales go up because people think, oh, there's going to be a scarcity. I'm not going to be able to get that. So that culture of having maybe a gun for protection of your house, having a gun for hunting, then provides cover for anyone being able to get anything. And then we have issues with this sort of feeling that something's being taken away from them, right? So we have groups on social media that talk about they don't feel like they're the ones in power anymore. To go with what Crystal was saying, right? They feel like power is being taken away from them if we allow equality for everyone. That's not true. That's a falsehood. But when they feel that way, then we get these sort of scenarios where often white men, certainly men, act out in a way that is absolutely horrific.
And he talks again to, you have concomitantly, and you heard Jake Charles mention it, this increasing weaponization and this increasing political polarization. Are the two linked? To describe from what you're saying, it sounds like it.
Well, we see political polarization in lots of countries, and we don't see the kind of horrific shootings that we're getting in the United States on a regular basis. I mean, what did you say, 27 this year?
This is just shootings that took place in schools.
Yeah, just schools. So Buffalo doesn't even count in that number, right? And so can you ask the question again?
The question is there a direct link between a polarized society and all, this weaponization of the United States? Or the way, if I understand Crystal correctly, it's also big business, and we'll talk about that more in a moment.
Definitely big business. But the polarization here we see in the United States, and then it's linked to weaponization because polarization happens in aspects of political identity. And so when we have everyone sort of talking together, and we see this on social media because this is a place where a lot of people can come together to communicate, what we see in some of our research is that the people who post about issues the most are the ones who are ego involved in that issue. They see it as part of who they are and part of their identity. And so it becomes very difficult to introduce gun legislation without getting primaried out of your district, right? They were talking about it being state houses, right? And being primaried out of small districts because people see this as who I am is a gun owner, not just, oh, I am a person who likes to own guns. And so when you get that on social media, you get the people who are very ego involved and who are willing to post sort of low quality arguments in these kinds of things. And this drives the groups apart because they see each other's posts and they think, that's an awful argument. I would never make that. Or they don't know what they're talking about. And they move further to the polls. Now, in America, a huge issue for identity is guns and weapons. And so you get this kind of polarization happening around weapons, and then we see the outcome.